What are you seeing around you in terms of numbers of people demand? Because, anecdotally, we're told that Cornwall is very, very busy, bearing in mind the school holidays haven't even started yet.
I spoke to you a month or two ago on that very subject, and my views have changed. And I am prepared to put my hand up and say I think I got it wrong last time, Julie. And the reason is this. Although businesses like me are operating at reduced capacity, and I think there are quite a lot of responsible hotels, campsites like me that are operating at reduced capacity, nevertheless, there is an enormous, I'd call it an explosion of pop-up campsites egged on by an online travel agent who shall remain nameless. They don't need any publicity from me. And also Airbnbs, which are not only destroying the housing market for local people, they are creating an enormous increase in the supply of available accommodation for holidaymakers and tourists. And I actually think Cornwall's in for a very rough ride, I'm afraid, Julie. I think there's going to be an awful lot of people here in the summer. There already are. Padstow is heaving if you go in, and it's very difficult to see. If you are risk averse, then it is very difficult to know what to do and where you can go. Because I think it's not just Cornwall. I think a lot of the holiday hotspots across the UK are going to be very, very busy this summer.
I was talking to my husband about this. We were just having a cup of coffee and a chat, and I was saying, we were just mooting, and I'd be interested to know your perspective, whether a really big tourist-heavy summer could actually be bad for Cornwall in the long term. If people feel that they're paying sky-high prices to come to a place which is heaving with people, they can't park, they can't get into restaurants, they can't fit on the beach on a sunny day, and our weather will remain as beautifully variable as it always does, it could put them off for life. What do you think?
I agree with you. I think there's an awful lot of short-term opportunism going on. That's people coming into the market because there is huge demand, and they are meeting that with supply, whether that's Airbnb or pop-up campsites. And I think there are plenty of people hiking their prices, or who have hiked their prices. I'm not actually one of those. I set my prices last year, and I've stuck with them. And I could have sold things 3 or 4 times over. But I'm just happy to have people, and I hope I give them a great time whilst they're here, or my team give them a great time whilst they're here. And I think, sadly for Cornwall, we aren't going to benefit as we would like to benefit from from showcasing Cornwall, because actually we're going to damage the product we're offering to customers simply by the congestion that we are creating by our oversupply, and then the price hiking. People are just going to feel they've been mugged, and it's a desperately sad situation. And I don't see how anyone, because it's human nature, and I don't see how anyone can deal with that. I just remember back, Julie, to the eclipse back in 1999.
Mm-hmm. What happened then?
Well, I'm embarrassed to say I was part of the problem then. I was new to the business, and I hiked my prices 25% for the eclipse. I remember it, and shame on me for doing it, really.
What was the lasting impact of that?
Well, it took me about 4 or 5 years, I think, to actually restore my own reputation, because I think customers were just very uncomfortable with that price rise for the eclipse. I mean, of course, as it happened, the eclipse, the weather conspired against us as well, and maybe they'd all have felt a lot better if they'd actually had a good eclipse. But if you remember, Cornwall wasn't particularly good for the eclipse.
No, it wasn't great, was it?
No, it wasn't. But winding the clock forwards, what's happening now is a similar opportunity to the eclipse, where people are going to come to Cornwall that aren't normally coming to Cornwall. We have a wonderful opportunity to showcase the county, but I fear that opportunity is being lost, and it does sadden me, Julie.